In a lot of my videos, I talk about how heavy fruits are in Colombia, but not this time. These are not especially heavy. These are granadillas. It seems like a lot of people say that they used to be heavier 10 years ago, and it seems right to me. It seems to me they were heavier 10 years ago than they are now, denser. That said, they're still pretty good. You see spots like this, it doesn't necessarily mean anything is wrong. You know, the exterior of the fruit is still pretty solid. What would cause that, I don't know. It's not a reliable indicator of the state of the inside of the fruit. It looks like these are hard shells. They're really not hard. They can be broken into easily and often by mistake. So beware if you're handling them. They're resistant to cracking or puncture, but they're not that resistant. How you can show here if I can. I can just break into it with my finger. Okay, I have a bowl here. And you just crack it open like this. Okay, and inside, I know it's like every fruit I show you looks kind of like this. What is the galupa again? It's not. So each of these seeds is covered. It's hard to do this with this camera. It has a layer of jelly and maybe it's not jelly. It's a sweet viscous fluid, and it has a very thin membrane on it that will rupture and release the sweet viscous fluid into your mouth. Now that said, do not try to remove the seeds. That's just not how it's done, and I have tried this many ways. You may chew the seed, but there's probably no nutritional advantage to doing that. And I'd say there's no aesthetic advantage to it. So the interior looks kind of like that. It's this cluster. There's more of it, but this is part of it. It's this cluster of seeds and jelly. And if you put it in your mouth and you swallow, that will tend to rupture these membranes and release a large amount of this very sweet, non-acidic or not very acidic juice into your mouth. And my suggestion is, since the seeds are pretty smooth and they're easy to swallow, when there's this layer of fluid on them, that you just do that. They will pass right through you like everything else that I've described, and there's no problem. It's much better to just swallow them whole like this. Oh wow, that is so sweet, amazing. Okay, the rest of the fruit is, you can see there's some seeds stuck in there. You can see the interior of this thing is it's spongy or foamy. I guess spongy is, I don't know. It's not exactly like styrofoam. I don't know. It's a similar material to inside of a pomegranate, I guess. That's a little spongier than that. And I assume animals eat it. I'm just eating it to show that it's edible. It's not great. It's just got this membrane and has this kind of mildly bitter flavor that you would expect from fruits that people describe as parts of fruits that people describe as not having much flavor. So there's not really much to this video. I just want to reiterate this point here. Don't. If you want to experiment with chewing the seeds, you may do that. If you think you're going to somehow remove the seeds, that's going to be a lot of work for basically no benefit at all. My suggestion is just take it like that. So so getting it out is not especially hard. But when you break it open, it's like this. A mistake that people make, sometimes they'll puncture the fruit and then try to suck the seeds out. The reason that's bad is you could end up inhaling one of the seeds or several of the seeds. You don't want to inhale any number of seeds. Inhaling seeds is always bad. So this end of the cluster is stuck to the stem. So don't freak out if this doesn't work perfectly for you. It's going to be a little bit messy. That's not too bad. I do that. I know. I'm sort of inhaling it, but what you don't want to do is try to squeeze it out like you're sucking an egg or something like that. Wow, that is really sweet. Caution is, of course, if you eat several of these, at once, as you may be tempted to do after the first one. At that point, you will have something to look forward to in terms of a special experience with the seeds. So I don't know. Try first time you have one of these. Maybe just have one. Make sure that it's heavy, that it's dense. Why they're less dense, I don't know. They're maybe coming from being transported here from a different region, being harvested at a different time, different. I don't know. But somehow these came out extra heavy this year, and I'm very pleased with it. So granadilla, swallow granadilla seeds whole.